Childhood. This is the first episode in the rise of Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi, the liberator of Jerusalem. In 1137 CE, a boy named Yusuf Salah ad-Din was born in the ancient castle of Tikrit, near Baghdad. He came from a noble Kurdish family, the Ayyubids, whose lineage traced back to the esteemed Ra'diya tribe. But the joy of his birth was shadowed by hardship. That very year, his father, Najm ad-Din Ayyub, and his uncle, Shirkuh, were exiled from Tikrit. When Najm ad-Din learned of his newborn son, despair filled his heart. He even considered abandoning the child, believing it would spare him from a life of suffering. But as he pondered, a voice seemed to whisper, "Why do you despair? How do you know he might not become a great king and a noble character in the future?" Strengthened by this conviction, Najm ad-Din chose not to abandon him. The family fled Tikrit together. They found refuge under the protection of Imad ad-Din Zangi, ruler of Mosul. Years earlier, Ayyub had shown Zangi respect and mercy during confrontation, an act that left a deep impression. Grateful for this past kindness, Zangi welcomed his former rival and his family, offering them shelter and support. In return, Shirkuh pledged loyalty to Zangi, vowing to serve him faithfully for the rest of his life. This marked the beginning of a new chapter for the family. Growing up in Mosul, Salah ad-Din spent his childhood learning horsemanship, military training, politics, and administration. His uncle Shirkuh played a vital role in shaping his character, teaching him courage, honor, and justice. At the same time, Salah ad-Din received an education in religious studies, literature, and poetry, becoming a cultured and well-rounded young man. It was during these years that he developed his love for horses, often riding into the fields while imagining himself as a great warrior. On one occasion, a hunter who had killed one of his beloved horses was brought before him. Instead of punishing him, young Salah ad-Din questioned the hunter about his skills. Impressed by his answers, Salah ad-Din not only forgave him, but also gifted him a better horse, recognizing the value of a skilled man over anger. As he grew older, he trained rigorously in archery, swordsmanship, and martial arts, determined to become a master. One day, during practice, he broke his sword. Rather than discarding it, he had it reforged by a blacksmith. The new handle was even more beautiful than before. From then on, Salah ad-Din carried that sword with pride, wielding it in both battles and tournaments. By 1148, Shirkuh had risen to become a trusted general under Zangi's rule. He called his nephew to join him in Damascus. Shortly after their arrival, the brothers seized control of the city, overthrowing the governor. With Zangi's support, Shirkuh was appointed governor of Damascus, expanding his influence further north. Meanwhile, Salah ad-Din began serving as the head of police in Damascus. In this role, he maintained order, upheld justice, and ensured that relief reached the poor, laying the foundations of the character that would one day make him one of history's greatest leaders. Under Nur ad-Din's rule, Syria entered a golden age of peace and prosperity. After the death of the Zengid ruler, Nur ad-Din filled the power vacuum and became the de facto ruler of northern Syria. He strengthened his position by maintaining close ties with the Seljuk Sultanate of Rum, forging a powerful alliance that stabilized the region. In 1154, Shirkuh successfully defended Aleppo against a Crusader siege, proving his strategic brilliance. But shortly after this victory, he fell ill and passed away, leaving his young nephew Salah ad-Din to carry on his legacy. Salah ad-Din was soon summoned to Cairo by the Fatimid Caliph al-Adid, who had been impressed by Salah ad-Din's performance in battle. Upon meeting him, the Caliph saw his potential as a leader and appointed him to replace Shirkuh as vizier, effectively making him the ruler of Egypt. Though hesitant at first, Salah ad-Din accepted, embarking on the path that would define his place in history. With the backing of his Zengids, Salah ad-Din began his campaign to expand his control and secure the remaining Fatimid territories in North Africa. Along the way, he faced resistance from Berber tribes and the Almohad Caliphate. Yet, through sharp strategy and determination, he overcame these challenges and scored decisive victories. One of the most notable battles occurred at the Sijil Massa Bridge in Tunisia, where Salah ad-Din's outnumbered army faced a larger Moroccan force led by the Almohad Caliph. Using the narrow bridge to his advantage, Salah ad-Din positioned his men strategically, forcing the enemy into confined combat. Despite being outnumbered, his troops fought fiercely, inflicted heavy casualties, and forced the enemy to retreat. This victory showcased his military genius and his ability to turn disadvantages into triumphs. Following this, Salah ad-Din consolidated his control over Egypt. Though local rulers resisted, his military tactics and persistence ensured victory after victory. Eventually, he united Egypt under his authority, establishing a strong power base that would shape the future of the region. But Salah ad-Din's leadership went beyond the battlefield. He worked to strengthen Egypt from within, focusing on trade, agriculture, and public works. By improving infrastructure and fostering economic growth, he built a prosperous and stable state capable of withstanding external threats. He also valued education and culture. Salah ad-Din established madrasas, centers of Islamic learning, ensuring that knowledge, scholarship, and the sciences thrived under his reign. His patronage contributed to a cultural revival in Egypt, making his rule not only strong but enlightened. Legacy: through military victories, administrative reforms, and strategic alliances, Salah ad-Din transformed Egypt into a unified and flourishing state. His justice, generosity, and commitment to public welfare earned him the respect and love of his people. Yet his mission was not complete. The Crusaders remained a constant threat, and above all, Salah ad-Din's heart burned with the desire to liberate Jerusalem. He knew the battles ahead would shape history forever. With unshakable faith, military strength, and diplomatic skill, Salah ad-Din began preparing the armies that would soon march to reclaim the Holy City.